Hi, this is Kelsey with Shipwreck Beads, and we're here with a very special live episode today. Normally we post on Wednesdays and Fridays, but since this week I will be going to Girl Scout camp and won't be here for the rest of the week, I thought we'd do a special Tuesday video, and so here we are. And just to keep it nice and short and sweet, we're going to go ahead and get started on making the project right away. The project today is this bracelet here. We call it the etched chain. I've also heard this type of chain referred to as box chain or Victorian box chain. It was very popular in Art Deco type jewelry, but we're going to make a really easy bracelet with that. We're actually going to make 3 different versions with 3 different closures, and I think that should be a good fun project. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm experimenting a little bit with camera angles. I don't know if you could tell. And so we've got a little different background view today, and behind me here over my right shoulder you can see my messy workstation, and over here on my left shoulder you can see some of my photo props, and also up against the window I've got it lined with photo props, things that I do when I shoot pictures for the blog. So but let's go ahead and get started. A little anecdote about my office, which is way too messy. So hopefully we're going to get a little better camera angle so you can see what I'm doing, because I know that's been a main complaint. So what I've got here is I've got a couple different types of chain. This one, I make a lot of bracelets too. They seem quick, easy, instant gratification. Hi Caitlin, welcome Anastina. So this is an antique brass, and you can see it's got these little knobs on them. It's just very pretty. It's very smooth, but they called it book chain because it looked like the spine of decorative books. So it looked like books. That's why they called it book chain. So it's pretty cool. Thank you. Yeah, this is one that I made using aluminum wire. We'll do something similar. I've got on my list of projects I want to cover eventually in the videos. We're going to do something similar to this, but this is one of my favorite necklaces. So yeah, it's hard to tell. You can see the detail. It's got some nice little etchings there. So I've got an antique brass. I have an antique silver. And so in this version, and we have, I believe, 5 colors of each of each of the different styles. This one doesn't have the little nubs, which actually might be better for bracelets because it's not going to get caught on anything. And then this one has the little nubs, but I kind of like the way that looks. So I got those 2 colors, and then I also have a shiny gunmetal. And so again, this still has the texture, but it's a little harder to see because it's so shiny, but it still has that same etching print in there. So to start out, we're going to go ahead and use this Clasp by Tiara Cast. Now with this chain, I'm going to tell you to break the rules a little bit, because normally anytime you've got links you want to open them like a jump ring, so you're opening them like this. But this type of chain, because of how wide it is, won't quite work with the won't quite work to open it in the jump ring method. So we're going to have to go and break the rules a little bit to get this clasp on here. All right, so just what I'm doing is I'm sticking the nose of my chain nose pliers in here, and I'm just squeezing it open just enough because I want to get my clasp on here. So we need to open it just a little bit more, and we might need 2 pairs of pliers to do it too, because that didn't quite give me. So and then you're going to slide your clasp into that opening, and then you're going to pinch it shut. And what I also like to do is come across the top and sort of pinch it across the top as well, just to give it a little extra security. And as long as you don't bend it too far, you should be okay as far as not damaging the link enough that it's going to break. So this is just an easy little hook clasp. I'm going to stick it over my wrist to see how long I want it. Women's bracelets tend to be anywhere from, 6 to 8 inches, depending on how how thick of a wrist you have or how you like to wear it. So what I'm doing here, or what I'm attempting to do, is trying to get this clasp in here so I know exactly where to cut it. So I think that about is a good length. So I'm going to take, I've got my Lindstrom shears here. These are a nice cutter. Oh yeah, Katara, isn't this chain so great? Look at the texture on that. So now we're going to go ahead, now that we know that's where we want to cut it. So each of these clasps is a slightly different length. So you're going to cut your chain to slightly different lengths as well. And then, so with these first two clasps that I'm going to show you, you can't really make it too adjustable just because of the style of the clasp. But the third version that I'll show you is really easy to make adjustable, and so that just goes on there. It just hooks right through, and it is a little sliding around, but I really like the look of this clasp. And it's just kind of simple and classic. I'm just going to load them up as I finish them up. So there's the bracelet in antique brass. Isn't this chain just great? Oh, see, that clasp doesn't work as well as I thought it would. So maybe this little clasp here is not ideal to use. But the next clasp we'll show I know works because I made a similar bracelet using this. It's a tier cast hammered, it's a Z clasp. So I know this one will work. Oh, thanks, Kyla. I made it. So now, because I really like the mixed metals trend, we're going to go with the gunmetal and the gold. That's one of my favorite combinations. I just love the way the two tones sort of play off each other. So we're going to just very slightly open this up so that we can fit. So if you can look at the Z clasp, you can see one edge is soldered shut and one edge is open. So that will, so to put it on the open edge, you need to open that last link. And sometimes you need to press it from a couple different angles just to make sure you get it pinched completely shut. And do be gentle as you are pressing it down, because you want to make sure you don't mangle that link. So because I already made a version with this one, I'm just going to go ahead and cheat a little bit, and I'm just going to use that one to measure how long I want this one. And so these ones I know aren't going to fall off because, again, this is the one that I sort of tested out to see how it would work. So this one won't fall off because it does have a slightly deeper curve here, whereas with this brass one that I really wanted to work out, it's sort of got, it's not big enough, if that makes sense. I know, I just love the golden gunmetal. Such a good combination. Okay, so now for the silver version, this is a great way to make this this jewelry piece customizable size. So if you're not quite sure the wrist size of the person you're making it for, this is a really great alternative to using this type of clasp when you're not exactly sure how long or how the person wants to wear their jewelry. So for this one, we're going to need to have this little link be our first link. So we're just going to go ahead and open that up and take that off. And because I also tested this one, I'm just going to take my previous bracelet, line it up, and that will give me my exact link. Because I'm just making it for myself. So, alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take jump rings and about an inch of chain. Sometimes you can go 1.5 inches, depends on how much. I don't like to do any more than 1.5 inches because I don't like it to dangle too much. And I feel like it just gets in the way. So, we've got our chain here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one jump ring to add the clasp to one end. Now I would normally, if I was making something like this to give or sell, I would probably not use this bright silver jump ring just because all of this is antique silver, but it was on my desk and so we're just going to use it. Because I don't feel like digging out some darker jump rings. All right. Use that to connect there. Oh, Hillary, we're in the Pacific time zone. We're here in the Pacific Northwest in Lacey, Washington. So we're just like south of Seattle or north of Olympia or whatever you want to call it. So here you go. Here's this finished bracelet. And so to connect it, it's got a lobster claw on it. And then again, you get that nice, it's just a good stacking piece. It's super simple to make. If you buy 2 feet of chain, you can really make like 4 bracelets out of it. And it is a little bit pricier chain because it is so decorative. So to make a bracelet like this where you're adding a chain connection, you can make it not only adjustable sizes, but you can also use a little bit less chain because most bracelets are not going to be 6 inches. But most of our chain is sold in 1 foot, 2 foot, 4 foot increments. So you're always with that even number. So yeah, I just really love these little bracelets. They're just super simple. Just stack them up. Let's put them all on, see how we did. I'm going to have to find some other type of closure for this brass one. I think that's just not going to stay put. So we'll have to experiment in that. All of the clasps used today are tiara cast. This chain is not tiara cast though. This little one is. This is one of my favorite chains. It's their textured, not cable chain, I'm not sure. But I'll put links to all of these up in the comments here after we're finished, which is just about now. But yeah, so there's your brass book chain. And this is the stack I was wearing this morning on this wrist. So I've got my tiara cast bangle, which actually what I did with the bangles, because I don't know if you caught my Friday show, the bangles are very round. And so what I did to make it fit my wrist more comfortably is I latched it. Here, I'll just go ahead and show you. So this used to be perfectly round, and so I latched it and I just pulled as hard as I could to kind of get it into more of an oval shape, and it's much more comfortable to wear like that. And then I've got my sparkle bracelet, which we don't sell, but this is my favorite bracelet. It's so gorgeous. I bought it from a friend off Etsy. Namaste bracelet, we made these a couple weeks ago on one of the live videos, and then this is just a random black rubber bracelet I wear all the time. I am armed and loaded, yes. Although actually, I usually only wear bracelets on this wrist, except for these two that I never take off, because this is the arm I use 10 key with, and so I can't type if the bracelets are like digging into the computer. So I tend to only wear bracelets on the one hand, because I don't know if anybody else is the same way, but. All right, let's angle you back up here. Yes, it is, Susan. You are correct there. They're really beautiful. You should check out her store. She's got some great stuff too. But we're at Shipwreck Beads blogs, or we're at Shipwreck Beads videos, so we're not going to talk about that. All right, so I'm going to wish you a happy rest of the week and a happy weekend. I'll get these links up on the site for you, and then we are good to go. So I love you, you beauty people, and have a good week, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.